Indochino. The first thing I ever heard about the company was that Steve Nash was a spokesperson. And then I saw a very cool photo of him playing basketball with the suit on. Well, sort of playing basketball, not really, you know what I mean? Then I found out that they were custom suits, all made to measure without going to a store. I like that. Being a fellow basketball head, my man Sets ordered a suit from them and he loved it. I'd been thinking about getting something from them forever, so when they came on board with No Dunks, I got right to measuring the bod using their platform. It was easy. They were ahead of the game when it came to made to measure from home. I did get my wife to help me though, and it was probably the last time we touched, come to think about it. Anyway, everything is customizable and at surprisingly affordable prices. My light blue shirt and olive pants fit very well, I must say. Get a wardrobe personalized to your style and taste without spending a fortune. Give yourself a style edit that sets the tone for the rest of the year with Indochino. Get $50 off any purchase of $3.99 or more by using promo code NODUNKS at Indochino.com. That's $50 off a purchase of $3.99 or more at INDOCHINO.com, promo code NODUNKS.
Sorry, I can't go to work today. I have a cat on my lap.
Well, you're fired.
That's okay, I have a cat on my lap.
Want to go on a walk?
I have a cat on my lap.
Want to go on a date?
There's a cat on my lap.
The house is on
I
fire.
have a cat on my lap.
We have to run.
As previously stated, I'm incapacitated.
Oh, and it left. It's gone. Bye. Good morning, sweet world, and welcome to the No Dunks podcast on the Athletic Network. It's Tuesday, January 25th. I'm J.E. Skeets here in the Classic Factory. Alongside me, as always, we got Tass Mellis.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Tassie? We got our top shot hot boy, Trey Kirby.
Heyo.
Hey! Oh. And finally, making the magic happen, super producer, JD.
Hello.
There he is, and here we are. No Leigh once again. Sending our best wishes out to our guy. To our Aussie. He's okay. He's okay, guys. He's just in a little health and safety protocols himself right now, you know? Everybody's taking a turn.
Do you think he's watching live right now? Don't even think about it.
No, he's not.
No way. Come on.
He's absolutely not. He's playing Lego.
Oh, yeah, he's building.
Yeah.
He's building right now. What do you think he's going with? A car of some sort. Let us know what you think Leigh is building Lego style right now.
And if somehow you are watching, Leigh, let us know what you're building while you watch and you play with your Lego. Shout out to the stream team for joining us live on YouTube right now. Subscribe, like, comment, share the show. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com. I'm sure we'll hit the beach at some point this week. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at NoDunksInc. Fun show, I think, here today. We're going to get to the games. There was only 4 on last night, so we'll touch on all 4 of them. And then later on, we're going to go through the top trade candidates for each Eastern Conference team. And if people like it enough, we'll do the Western Conference tomorrow or some point later this week. But we'll go through every team in the East and like pick a player, in some cases 2, that you're like, ooh, they could be moved at the deadline here. There's a possibility, and we'll talk it out.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be good to rejig our memories about all the players that could be dealt on the 15 Eastern Conference teams, because Ben Simmons is sucking up so much of the air. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's other good players in the league.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we'll get to that later, but let's start with the games from last night. And we're going to begin with Kevin Love's barrage and Garland's late 3 to help the Cavs hold off the Knicks 95-93. They had a couple, 15-point leads the Cavs did. Knicks got back into it, had some chances tasked, but Cleveland pulls off another victory. What do you think?
Let's talk about that barrage here in the garage. Why the heck not? We love rhymes here. Kevin Love and that harmonious relationship that he's working with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Why can't I talk? The Cleveland Cavaliers. Who saw this coming? Nobody, with the way the last couple years have gone. And Kevin Love is in an absolute perfect role for him. Could it be any better? He comes off the bench and just fires threes. You look at his line yesterday, 6 of 12 from the floor, 6 of 12 from 3. He took 12 threes, and that's it. He just has to run up and down and play against other teams' benches. Doesn't have to play in the fourth quarters. Doesn't have to play defense as much against starters. So I wonder, without him, there's absolutely no way they win this game. he is just such a skilled player out there. And I wonder when we get to the trade targets for each team, is Kevin Love one of them?
Spoiler, he's not.
Yeah, I don't think the Cavs would trade him. They've got so many young guys on rookie contracts, so even though Kevin Love eats up so much of the salary because you've got Mobley and Okoro and Garland on their rookie deals, why trade him?
Right.
Why?
Right.
It doesn't really make sense. Maybe next year, but even Rubio comes off the books this year. So either way, Kevin Love's got this great relationship with the young guys on his team. He comes out there, he gets all jived up in the huddles. He's a member of the team, which you didn't really think would happen last year, and a key part to this team because they do need scoring. I thought my man Evan Mobley, even though he hit his numbers yesterday, we'll get into his over-under on his prop line a little bit later. I want to talk about that. He hit the over, but he didn't seem like his bouncy self. Maybe because Jared Allen wasn't there, he had some more responsibility out there. But that's just a great thing to say about Evan Mobley, that I've got these expectations. Everybody's got these expectations for him to have a great game. And yeah, he still had a great line. But they needed Kevin Love, and they couldn't really close it out down the stretch. That's one thing about the Cavs, and either could the Knicks, obviously. Their end-of-game execution, they absolutely need a point guard to get them into things because it just ends up in Julius Randle's hands, and yeah, things kind of just go south a lot of the time because it's just Julius Randle against the world, or sometimes RJ Barrett will take it to the cup, but it just takes so long to get into sets, and the whole Kemba Walker, Emmanuel Quickley thing isn't necessarily working out as we'd expect. And Derrick Rose isn't in the lineup, and they desperately need him. So it's just such a strange team that could use a big shakeup. Just over 2 weeks to the trade deadline, even though they have 10, 11, 12 guys that and that are capable, they're like the Hawks in that it would be great for them to package a few of these good players to get a great player. Speaking of former Hawks, Cam Reddish in his second game available for the New York Knicks didn't even get into the game. So that is something to watch because he wanted to be traded to be a star. And he got into his first game on Saturday, played a couple minutes, but in this one didn't play. So I wonder how that scenario goes. This Knicks team just not executing enough.
Yeah, the Knicks, TK, had several chances in the final couple minutes to get this victory. I mean, quickly took a brutal three-pointer. He had a rough night, 1 of 10 from the field, but an ill-advised three-pointer he took. Barrett long on a 3-2, though I thought he played great. I thought he had some amazing takes to the rim in the fourth quarter. But yeah, this whole rando mid-post ISO taking forever to get into it, then it goes to him, and it's like, oh boy, what are they doing here? And then they missed a bunch of free throws too. They killed themselves at the line, only 11 to 21, but not good here from the Knicks.
Execution was not there. It was a real what are we running here sort of night for the Knicks in the last minute. I hated the possession where Randle got the ball. I think it was maybe 18 seconds. He brings the ball up on the left wing and just kind of like does a few crossovers and then dishes it to Barrett, basically hands him a grenade like, you shoot it.
Yeah.
Why not attack if you're Julius Randle? But he had the side cleared out for him, and then obviously their last possession struggled to get it in, and it's just a heave at the buzzer, basically no chance. So 2 chances, really. The Knicks could have won this game, not to mention they went on a couple of runs here. If they would have been able to keep it going, they could have been fine, but it just all comes down to Julius Randle. I do feel like with this Knicks team, it's live and die with Julius Randle.
It is.
Last year, they were living with him.
Yeah.
This year, they're dying a little bit more. And, the shots really haven't changed. The offense hasn't really changed. Last year, he just made a ton of them, so he got named second-team All-NBA. This year, he's off.
He is now officially the least efficient high-usage player in the NBA.
Nice.
That's according to Jonathan Macri. Yeah, he's first at the...
Counts for something, at least,
But... yeah, if you've watched a lot of Knicks games, that checks out, unfortunately. Unlike last year where he couldn't miss those crazy contested twos, and he was attacking, and I think the playmaking was better. I also think his defense was a little more engaged last year, and it's probably a spillover of when the shots are falling, you give it a little more effort maybe on the defensive end, and he has just taken a step back overall, Taz.
Yeah, and I guess the difference between this year and last year as well is that he had a playoff experience that didn't go very well as a number one guy, and maybe that's wearing on him a little bit. It's just a different mentality in New York.
Toughest thing to do in the league. To be a star player, to bring it every single night, I think.
Yeah, that's true. And then and it's especially tough in the postseason when you don't have a guy beside you. And now, that bleeds into year number 2 here with the Knicks with this franchise, this fan base all over you. It's it ain't the same as last year, that's for sure.
We'll save the Knicks trade talks for later in the show here when we go through each Eastern Conference team. I saw you tweet this. I wanted to bring it up. Hilarious anecdote in the AP report. Had me laughing. Again, Trey tweeted it. Cavs coach JB Bickerstaff. He's not sharing the same musical tastes as his young players. That's to be expected. He's an older guy. They're young guys. Quote, this is Bickerstaff. We have some people, if it didn't happen after 2000, it didn't happen. All right? That doesn't stop Bickerstaff from playing his favorite tunes during shoot-arounds. He does keep the mood light and maybe educate his players on artists like Mary J. Blige and Bob Marley. 21-year-old Isaac Okoro, not a fan. This is an actual quote from Okoro. Now he's saying it playfully. His music brings the energy down. I tell him every day to change the music, but he doesn't listen to me. I just thought this was hilarious that this was in the AP report of the game. But the Cavs are riding high. They're 10 games over 500, first time since LeBron, I guess, back in the last finals run there for them. So 29-19. Yeah, Bob Marley, Mary J. Blige. Would you like to hear that in a shoot around? Or is
No,
got a
honestly, I'm completely with him. I like Bob Marley. I would listen to Bob Marley basically anytime except for right before a basketball game. I don't think you're getting hyped. Mary J. Blige is a little hit and miss for me, but I saw Colin Sexton was wearing a Mary J. Blige t-shirt on the bench last night. Obviously, he's been out for a while, so that was funny to see in the first place. And then once you read all these quotes afterwards, you're like, you're needling them. You can tell, though, the chemistry is good for the Cavs with things like this, these jokes coming out. Even Isaac Okoro, he had this joke about the music. He also said he couldn't believe how high Kevin Love jumped when he celebrated one of his made threes. He's like, I haven't seen him jump that high forever. Kevin Love said this is the most fun he's had playing in the NBA since the 15-16 season when they won the championship. What a change for Kevin Love. He hated being on the Cavs after LeBron left. Remember when Sexton joined the team and there were reports coming out of the vets, him and Tristan Thompson saying, this guy doesn't know how to play basketball.
Yeah.
Sexton went down. He loves Garland. He calls him his little brother. You can see the bond between him, and he's being a really great vet here, which is a huge change for the Cavs, having everybody actually want to be there.
I don't know what's more improbable about this Cavs season. The fact that Ricky Rubio was playing at basically an all-star level, like coming in there, and you maybe predicted that. Kevin Love doing this. No way anybody saw this. Like after him, pouting for the last couple of seasons here. Him contributing. What's also improbable? They're going to have like 2 all-stars, and like everybody's totally okay with it. It's like trying to figure out just who they are. It's like Mobley is in the conversation. Is it just Jared Allen? Is it Garland as well? Or is it overall just their record here where they're like knocking on the door of the number 1 seed in the Eastern? They're not that far behind. I don't have it in front of me. It's a couple games back. It's been a wild season here.
It's bonkers. And the way they've dealt with all those injuries.
And great point.
Sexton and Rubio to lose 2 of your top 3 guards. How is that possible? You look around the league with teams going down. They haven't been able to stay afloat. Now, they are able to get to the fourth quarters, and they just need a closer to finish things out because I'm backing them. I feel like they should still hover around the top 4 spots in the Eastern Conference. And it's cool that they have a coach on the floor because Garland's wearing the Mary J. Blige that Bickerstaff supports, but it's a weird combination. Mary J. Blige pregame, I think that's what I would do too. If I was a coach, I would alienate my players by playing some smooth R&B before the game that no one would want to hear.
You would play so much John Legend in your shoot
and everyone
rounds.
would hate it. But hopefully my point guard would throw on a John Legend shirt. And why would he do that? I don't know. Why is he doing that? He's a Mary J. Blige fan.
Sexton was wearing the Mary J. shirt.
That's my bad. That's Colin Sexton obviously not playing.
Right.
It's a weird combo, very weird combo of all that stuff happening. It's like they're watching our show. It's like the 1980s and 1990s basketball players being mentioned all the time. Right. Who are these guys? JB Bickerstaff needs a younger guy on his Bickerstaff to pick some of the music, I guess.
No, it's working.
They need like a JJB, the junior JB.
Yeah.
JB Bickerstaff is 42. He's not like an old guy at all. He's like, I'm so old school playing this music from the 1990s. Ever heard of it?
Why is he picking the music, though?
That's a great question. Why is he picking
It's a power move. I love it.
Yeah, it's because Kevin Love comes in, always turns on the Beach Boys. He's like, no, come on.
All right, let's keep it going here. Our next game from last night, Devin Booker and the point guard, Chris Paul, lead the Suns past the depleted Jazz. Missing a lot of guys. 115-109, Trey Kirby.
Yeah, Jazz were missing basically everybody.
Yeah.
Mitchell, Gobert, Bogdanovic, Malone wasn't playing. Stockton, we know, can't get tickets to the game. So the Suns took care of business. This is a classic Suns win. I don't know how many times this has happened so far this year, but it feels like every single game. They play it close through 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, haha, we got Chris Paul.
Chris Paul time.
Yeah, he just out-executed the Jazz the way he has done so many times this year. In the fourth quarter, Chris Paul went for 15 points on 5 of 7 shooting, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. I think it's time for Chris Paul to take his turn as the MVP favorite right now.
Wow.
DeRozan got some buzz in December when the Bulls won a whole bunch of games in a row. We've been talking a lot about Joel Embiid as he's been putting up McAdoo-like numbers recently. Luka Doncic, I think, is going to be taking a run here. But Skeets, you've said it a few times. The Suns still have single-digit losses right now. And Chris Paul is the best fourth-quarter player in the league right now.
Yep.
I thought the graphic they showed last night was that he's got the highest clutch plus minus or something like that in all these games, because the Suns have played a whole bunch of really close games, and it always comes down to Chris Paul doing everything. He's been the best player on the best team. He's super clutch. So I don't know. I think it's time for a little bit of Chris Paul buzz. I can't believe it. Got me defending John Stockton one week. Now I'm saying Chris Paul's an MVP. This is growth, people.
Oh, my goodness. But this was a perfect example of why he is at least at the table, because the Jazz were up in this game, like in the fourth quarter. A couple minutes in the fourth quarter, they're up 4. And again, they have nobody playing, so it's like, Suns can't be happy about that. But then, Chris Paul, 15-foot step-back jumper. A minute later, Chris Paul 3. Okay, Suns have the lead back. Next possession, assist in traffic to Biyombo, who's playing incredibly for them. A lot of it because, set a pick, Chris Paul's going to find you, and just dunk it or lay it in. Jazz call a timeout because suddenly their lead is, basically gone. They're down 3 now. Suns get a stop. Chris Paul splashes another 3. They're up 6. Then play gets a little sloppy on both ends for a bit. No one scores until Chris Paul gets to the line. He misses 1, so he splits a pair. Jazz finally score on a Whiteside dunk, but Chris Paul's not done. The next 2 possessions, he sets up Cam Johnson for a 3, boom, and then he hits a little layup floater. He tacks, kisses it off the glass. Suns up 8, 5 minutes left. Now Clarkson caught fire at the end, and it got a little closer than they probably wanted, but it's like those, and he's done this so many times this year if you've watched Suns games. 3 to 5 minute stretch where he just turns the game on its head, Tass. They're either trailing or they just put the game away. And a lot of it's because the ball's in his hands. He's money from mid-range. He's going to set up guys for 3s or obviously guys inside for easy baskets. It's a clinic with him right now.
Surprising that this was his season high of 27 points because he
wow.
You'd think he'd have a 30-point game. But, yeah, join the MVP table, as Sarah Gray is saying here in the YouTube streams. It's more of a banquet hall than an MVP table currently. There's just so many guys at the tables. Yeah.
JD loves this photo, man.
We're going to have to pull up a second table. There's no doubt. There's a lot of guys. Yeah, I think the scoring is always going to hold Chris Paul back, but he's doing a great job of being on such a good team where he doesn't have to score the first 3 quarters. And that his season high is 27 points, and they're still in single-digit losses, and he's got enough help. Devin Booker had 33 in this game to get him to that fourth quarter. And Chris Paul, yes, they're just saving those legs that he played 40 minutes on again. Is there going to be a point where he takes a little bit of a rest?
Yeah. I'm
not so sure, but they're just going too well to not listen. They want home court advantage. The Golden State Warriors are a great home team, so the Suns want to keep this 1 seed, and they've got it. They've got a 3-game lead, while the Jazz are falling down in the Western Conference standings. But let's be a little positive, Pete, here. They're not good at home this year. They actually have the same record on the road as they do at home. And sometimes when you're one of these teams that hasn't gone to the promised land, it's nice to start on the road in the playoffs. You don't have that home court pressure. You don't have to get those first 2 games. You just have to get 1. I think that will help them in the playoffs. They are the 4 seed now, and I think that reduced pressure will help. Their main guys, I think, need rest before the postseason, like the older ones especially. Mike Conley's not a Chris Paul right now, so he's not logging minutes right now. If you want to be real positive about it, Bogdanovic, keep them fresh, because it doesn't matter if they have the 1 or 2 seed. It hasn't worked out in the past, so maybe you can be a little positive about that.
They are missing. I mean, they were missing 6 of their top 9 scorers last night. Everybody on the lineup. I'm surprised Clarkson didn't go for 45 last night, really getting all the shots.
Rudy Gay was, sorry to interrupt, Rudy Gay was out there. And if we're talking AP reports, according to the AP, they were just watching the milestones.
Yeah.
He moved into the top 100 scores of all time.
Wow.
Rudy Gay,
Yeah.
shocking.
You know, over 17,000 points.
Passing Mr. Chris Webber. He is in the conversation, obviously, as one of the best players to never be named an All-Star. You know, he's in with Rod Strickland and Derek Harper and Andrew Wiggins, of course.
Of course.
His spiritual forebearer.
Yeah. 17th, that's a lot of points for a guy who's never made an All-Star game. We've talked about him and Andrew Wiggins potentially making 20,000 points without making an All-Star game. Wiggy will get there. But will he also get an All-Star appearance this year? It's possible.
It is crazy that Rudy Gay has scored more points than Joe Dumars, James Worthy, Grant Hill. Okay, injuries came into play. Jerry Stackhouse. That is pretty crazy. Those are some pretty big names when it comes to scoring the basketball. And Rudy Gay's just been around long enough that he's had a couple seasons where he scored 20 per, and then usually just scores basically 16 to 20 every season.
Couple Hall of Famers in there, and C-Webb and Dumars, Grant Hill as well.
Yeah.
Rudy Gay's a Hall of Famer.
Oh, boy.
I was doing some Hall of Fame watching last night, looking at Kevin Love.
Nope.
No, you're right. You're right. No. You're right.
Hey, he says you're right.
Hey, you're right. But there's going to be the argument of a couple All-NBAs, 5 All-Stars, championship, most improved, if you want to get that dirty. But yeah, he hasn't done enough.
Improved,
Yeah, that doesn't get you in the Hall. But yeah.
Okay, so if Kevin Love is not in the Hall of Fame, then Rudy Gay is surely not in the Hall of Fame.
No, wow,
No
come
way.
on. You have to make an All-Star game to be in the Hall of Fame.
I agree.
There's a baseline.
I agree.
There's a baseline.
Well, how many did Rodman make? He only made 2, right?
That's a good point. Put him in.
Yeah.
I will say,
Manu.
to me, it looked like Rudy Gay is taller now. I don't know if it's just being around Rudy Gobert and Hassan Whiteside. It just seems like he's taller, or maybe it's because Bismack Biyombo was playing and he's listed at 6'8", just like Rudy Gay. I thought Rudy Gay was taller than Bismack Biyombo last night. So I don't know. I can't wait. 10 years from now, you're going to be seeing Rudy Gay, 20,000 career points. People forget Rudy Gay was a bucket.
Oh, yeah.
We were there, man. He was sometimes a bucket.
He was.
Sometimes.
And that clip will definitely be shared where the guy's yelling,
Not this guy.
Not this guy. Just final note on the Suns, like you saying, hey, let's give Chris Paul his shine here. He's definitely at the MVP table. You want to say he's the MVP of late, like where Kendrick Perkins up in here.
Yes.
That's fine. I like that because he's not going to win it. We'll agree with that. But it's nice timing because the Suns' record, 37-9, their best start in franchise history since 06-07. The old Steve Nashy days. There's comparisons there, obviously, as the playmakers, as the floor generals of getting this team to play a little bit above their head. But Chris Paul's not going to win it.
I don't know.
Well, maybe if they have the 65 wins, I don't know.
If they keep winning at this rate, he's at least got a chance. I agree that, it feels like he would finish top 3.
Yeah.
If the Suns have the best record in the league, it feels like he would at least finish top 3. The numbers, he's not going to have the counting stats that the winner is going to have most likely, but seeing Steph Curry go off to such a huge start and now he's fallen back while the Warriors have also fallen back, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but he is definitely the MVP of late. It's also January. We'll see what happens by April.
Yeah, it's difficult too when you do have a guy like Devin Booker on your team who's a lock to be another All-Star, who goes for games where he scores. He scored 33 last night. We're barely even
35 shots.
So, yeah. It's not the most efficient for sure, but he can have those games. Where he's of course scores 40 or 50, and you're like, that gets all the headlines. Where Chris Paul just goes about his business, 15 and 10, 15 and 10, 15 and 10, but takes over late. All right, our next game. Let's get to Voochie Baby and the Bulls, withstanding a late Thunder rally to win 111-110. They pulled it out, Trey.
All I can say is, ask any racer, any real racer. Doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Yeah, baby.
Not a convincing one for the Bulls last night, though. No. I will say, but after losing 6 of 8, including a bad one against the Magic this week, a much-needed win, kind of a tale of two halves and kind of a tale of 3 quarters and 1 really bad quarter. The Bulls built a huge lead, got out to a 28-point advantage in the 3rd quarter, and then kind of thought the game was over. The Thunder pressure picked up. They started trapping. They started playing full court, and the Bulls honestly just pooped their pants a little bit. 5 turnovers in the 4th quarter, completely blew the lead. Got down to a 1-point game with 15 seconds left. Zach LaVine made a couple of free throws to put Chicago up by 3. Then Shai Gilgeous-Alexander gets the ball. Down 3, had a nice look at it and barely missed. Would have tied things up. The Bulls got the rebound, made some free throws, and Muscala made a 3 to make it look ultra close. But I was nervous because the Bulls have blown this exact game against the Thunder twice recently. Last season, the Bulls blew a 22-point second half lead. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander hit a game-tying pull-up jumper to send it to overtime where the Thunder won. In 2019, the Bulls lost by 3 after leading by 26 points in the first half, 19 at halftime. So I was like, not again. Oh, not this guy again. Nonetheless, you could really see, I thought, in the fourth quarter how reliant the Bulls had become on DeMar DeRozan, because they did not handle the Thunder's pressure well at all. Led to the turnovers, and just they looked completely unsettled. They scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. No Lonzo, obviously. No Caruso. Zach LaVine was back, but he looked rusty to me. He had some really, really brutal turnovers. 19 points in the fourth quarter. Not good, but the Thunder, credit to them, they just kept playing the way they always do. And shout out to my guy, Ayo Dosunmu. Started 9 for 9, finished 10 for 14. Career high 24 points. Also added 8 assists after he got called out by Billy Donovan for 0 assist game against the Magic. This guy's the steal of the draft, and he's honestly becoming a little bit of a season saver for the Bulls with all of the injuries they've had. They need somebody who can handle the ball and make plays. He was great last night. If he doesn't play, this might be another disappointing one for Chicago.
Back to your Fast and the Furious quote there. Do you think Vin Diesel's ever pooped his pants?
Oh, guaranteed.
I think so, too.
Yeah, once you hit the nos.
Anything to add to the Bulls Thunder game?
I absolutely want to add to that nos evacuation there. So is it just the force that caused the poop, you think? It's just it's just he had no control, you're saying. It wasn't he wasn't nervous. It's just it was just hitting
he's
Mach,
never nervous.
Mach 3.
Nervous.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, he's never been nervous. Okay. In any of the Fast 10s, he's never.
Okay, in Fast 5, when they're driving on the bridge, there's a time when the bridge collapses and he floors it to go under the bridge, and he barely makes it, and he's like,
oh yeah.
The one time he's looked rattled. like 30 hours of movie. One time he was worried. So that's probably honestly what happened.
The one time.
do you have anything to add to the Bulls Thunder game?
That was good to know. Well, I did say we had the DeJounte Murray SGA debate last week.
Yeah.
Who's a better player? And part of my DeJounte Murray argument was that he's better at multiple things than SGA is. SGA, we know, can drop 50.
The question wasn't who was a better player, I just want to say. It was who would you start your franchise around? Okay. Which is why I was pro SGA, just being younger.
2 years younger.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I can interpret that as best player.
Sure.
He is definitely, DeJounte Murray, definitely the better defender. SGA, definitely the better scorer. And I thought DeJounte Murray is a better facilitator, getting guys involved. But SGA did a great job of that in this game. And so, yeah, I want to retract that part of it a little bit. I think DeJounte Murray does look to get guys more involved. SGA is a little bit more of a one-track, modern day point guard where I'm going to score. DeJounte Murray is more of a facilitator, but SGA was really good when that shot wasn't there, or when he just wanted to set up his teammates in this one. He's got great vision.
Yeah.
Really great
And one
vision.
of those guys plays for Popovich, where I'm sure it's ingrained in you.
Totally.
Like, hey, let's make the extra pass, or obviously let's set up guys. And SGA's playing on a team that's done nothing for the last couple of years and probably feels some responsibility of I got to get us some buckets here if we're going to have any chance in this. I just can't wait to see him play with really good talent.
Really
around
good
him.
guys.
Sure. It will be awesome. Just, same with DeJounte. Not that he's surrounded by all-stars right now either.
He had a smooth 31 in this game, and SGA, again, playing both sides. And I know you played your over-under player prop lines.
Yeah, I did. You did great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
But I got a little greedy. I threw in another one into my parlay, Miles Bridges. I just went Miles Bridges over. Excuse me, Mikal. Thank you. Mikal Bridges over, I think it was 18.5 or 19.5 points, rebounds, assists. They're playing the Jazz without anybody. He'd been on his last couple games. I was like, he might do that in points. That might be 18, 19 points for him tonight.
It was Cam Johnson instead.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that hurt me. But you called SGA on the over. Well done. And
Evan Mobley.
And Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley was a little lucky for sure.
Ooh, it wasn't looking good for him.
No, but when you play 40 plus minutes, and it's just when you're making these plays, it's easier to rely on somebody that plays a lot and touches the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And then sometimes Mikal Bridges, can be substituted for other guys on that team. Well, Evan Mobley was just there collecting boards, and he was good, but he wasn't his ultimate self. He wasn't as as bouncy. There's rookie walls out there. I didn't think Evan Mobley would ever hit one, but I think every rookie does at some point.
They hit that definitely right now around 40, 50 games played. They've never done it. Yeah, exactly. Final game from last night. Let's touch on it quickly. Devonte Graham and JV Valanciunas pushed the Pelicans past the Pacers 117-113. Any notes on this one, Tad?
You want to talk Pacers-Pelicans? You want to talk about Pacers-Pelicans? I got no problem talking about the Pacers-Pelicans. Yes. Injuries, COVID protocols allow guys to step up and get their opportunities. Pacers without their two big trade targets, Myles Turner, Domantas Sabonis. A lot of guys chipping in. Two-way player, Dwayne Washington Jr., he's a Buckeye. Kevin Love type line. 12 threes shot.
Wow. Love-like.
I think he might make the Hall of Fame.
Hey. You want to talk Kevin Love in the Hall of Fame? I'm saying that resume stacks up.
I sort of agree. He's going to be a borderline guy for sure.
He will be. He's been injured a lot, so he doesn't have the cumulative stats if anyone cares about that. But I know you care, Skeets, about the MVP tracker on Basketball Reference.
I do.
Nicholas Baker on the stream team chiming in with the Hall of Fame probability on Basketball Reference for Kevin Love. Guess what it is?
I mean, I can't tell if it's very high or very low.
52%.
What do my eyes say?
I think it's higher. I think it's 74%.
73.5.
Oh,
This guy knows his Basketball Reference
I
trackers.
live on Basketball Reference.
73.5. And then, this people chiming in for Kevin Love on the stream team. NF_D says, Love has better Hall of Fame credentials than Clay. And because I know you guys love looking at the All-NBA teams, because I
Yes,
don't.
I do.
He lives there.
Did a man make All-NBA second, or did he make third? Clay has made 2 All-NBA third teams.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Kevin Love has made 2 All-NBA second teams. So if Klay Thompson is the 77th best player in the history of the NBA, then Kevin Love gets in. Anyways, Kevin Love like line because Dwayne Washington only shot threes.
That's all. Talking about Dwayne Washington.
We are talking about the Pelicans.
Right.
He's a two-way player this year. 7 of 12 from 3. That's his line. That was his line. Good for him. Dropping 21 from the three-point line. This was just because all the Pacers were out, a game the Pelicans had to have. Had to have. And the Pelicans, they love playing with one another. They rally around each other. Devonte Graham, Valanciunas, Ingram, who was even out, their best player who was out. Josh Hart, Herb Jones loves playing. Our Nickeil Alexander, most improved pick, not looking good.
No,
dead in the water. But the Pelicans are the 11th seed. So let's be a little positive here. 2 games out. 2 games out
Let's
of the play-in
go,
tournament.
I can't believe that.
It is.
I can't believe it.
It is surprising. We thought they were dead. So the fact that Zion has been out for so long and is going to be out for a long period of time, combined with the 10th seed just being a floundering spot in the Western Conference. But you look at it as positive because Zion Williamson will come back this season. It sure feels like amongst the team, amongst the media, amongst the broadcasters there's chitter chatter that he'll come back. And when you're looking up against the Portland Trailblazers, who have Damian Lillard, who isn't going to come back for at least until March, and who knows? There's some promise there, especially with the Blazers that I'm sure we'll get to. Could decide to trade down and be a seller at the deadline. So the Pelicans with Zion in the play-in tournament. Oh yeah, everybody.
NBA would love that for the numbers, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Pelicans won this game. They shot 6 for 30 from deep, 20%. And Devonte Graham hit 5 of them. He went 5 of 9 from 3. So the rest of the team missed 20 of 21 3-pointers, which is insane. But they did everything else well. They scored inside. They doubled up Indiana in the paint. They hit 93.5% of their free throws. Man, I wish Leigh was here to talk about that. And they had 23 assists on 41 made baskets. So they moved the ball and took care of it too. Only 11 turnovers. So good win there from the Pelicans in this race. Incredibly in this play-in race, which is why they created it, I guess.
Never stop, never stopping. Shout out to the Pelicans. I hope they actually make the 10th seed because they could have easily just shut the season down and gone into the poops when they started 1-12. Back to poops, man. I didn't know what else to say there. Where would you go? Where does a Pelican even live?
The marsh.
Go back. They could have went to the marsh. They could have buried their head in the marsh. Yeah, as a pelican does.
a marsh, a swamp type thing.
Yeah. They have a nest.
I think every bird does.
Every bird has a nest.
All right, let's call it there.
Let's call it there.
been to a marsh down in Louisiana, and that's why I say that to swamp country to get the
bayou
going down the bayou to get crocs out of the water. Our guide was throwing marshmallows into the water.
I don't like that.
Nah, that's gross. So artificial.
I know.
These jet puffs. That's a brand of marshmallows, I think. Yeah, you throw those into the water. The crocs love them though. They were chomping at the bit.
Well, from just marshmallows to just egg. Our first ad comes to you from a company that's cooking the best omelets you or a crocodile will ever have. Alligator or crocodile?
I don't know.
Okay. Just Egg. Changing the world. One egg at a time. Just Egg. Cap locks on Just Egg. Capital E-G-G. Just Egg is a cholesterol-free, plant-based egg that will give you the most decadent quiches of your life, the fluffiest scrambles, and the easiest egg sandwiches of all time. It has about the same protein as a chicken egg and less saturated fat. Plus, Just Egg is packed with cholesterol-lowering polyunsaturated fat. Chicken eggs wish they were this healthy. We've talked about that many, many times. They're very jealous. Oh, and just because Just Egg comes from plants, you're also helping save our planet. I know you like that, Tass. I saw this guy, TK, yesterday after our show here at the Classic Factory, where we are at JD's beautiful home. This guy pulled out a bunch of recycling out of his car, Tass did, and was starting to recycle it at JD's house. I'm like, what's going on here? And Tass explained that because of a shortage of what, guys?
Of workers.
Yeah, that that's struggling to pick up the recycling in his neighborhood. So this guy loves the planet so much, brought his recycling to JD's house. JD's so nice. He's like, yes, my recycling bin, your recycling bin.
It's the same planet.
Yeah.
It's the same planet.
Same planet. It's nice.
Yes, I've had to go to recycling centers and pre-sort
Good
my.
for you,
I
man.
didn't enjoy that. I got to be honest.
You didn't like Charm? The Center for
No,
Hard
I
to
didn't-
Recycle Materials?
I didn't go to Charm. I went to another one. But it's like you got to sort into like 20 different places. It's nice to do a one sorter. Although, yeah, my garbage company is offering to throw the recycling into the trash. Not having
outta
it.
here.
Not having
No,
it.
no,
Oh.
we're about helping to save our planet. And that's why Just Egg, the perfect product for you. I have not yet got around to the old squirt bottle of Just Egg. I'm not there yet. I'm being honest with you guys.
Thank you.
But I am much a fan of the Just Egg Folded, which are plant-based eggs, of course, that are incredibly
Folded.
easy to make
The folded.
because you just pop this Just Egg Folded.
Is that what it's called?
Yes, I know.
Okay.
Hey, if we're being completely honest, Just Egg, great at making products, a little lackluster when it comes to naming things. But
I don't know. They got egg in the name. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
That was smooth.
but
That was
Just
smooth.
Egg Folded, I get it is what it is, right? You can
Just
throw-
egg, okay? And we folded it.
Yeah, you can throw it in the toaster. Boom! In a couple of minutes, elevated your breakfast sandwich with that fluffy, eggy goodness. So I'm Team Fold over here again. I have not convinced myself to try the bottle yet, but I'm getting closer and closer. Also, Tass, you're gonna love this.
I will. Thank you.
I stumbled upon a question about Just Egg, actually on Amazon where they sell the product, I guess, as well. And the question was, do the mung beans give off a distinct old man smell?
Old man.
The answer is no. Your Just Egg folded.
Absolutely not.
Your Just Egg bottle.
It's just
you're
a
fine.
mung smell.
It's just a mung smell. Just beans.
Is there a smell?
Not really. No, there's almost no smell to it. So you're good. They don't
Mung.
smell like old men.
Mung beans are everywhere.
I
They are everywhere.
I saw you guys tweeting about a mung bean on a cracker, I guess it was.
Yeah. I had no idea.
I still can't believe this chair we sit in is made of mung beans.
This table, this whole garage, it's all
world.
mung beans.
Yeah, everything.
It's raining beans.
So, Just Egg. Really good eggs. Don't smell like old men.
Absolutely not. All right. If you want to stick to your weight loss resolution, portion control is absolutely essential. Leigh Ellis, if he was here, he loves talking about portion control. He's always telling his kids, you only need one or two. I think he actually didn't allow his kids to have more than like 3 pieces of candy at Halloween, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, something
Sounds
like that.
right.
Yeah, just 1 or 2. You don't need more than 1 or 2.
That's what it
You remember those beaver nuggets we had here on No Dunks? He was talking about us and our bag of beaver nuggets while we were driving from Memphis, and he was concerned. The 4 of you guys, okay, you don't need to eat all of the beaver nuggets.
Right. Hey, and I know what you're thinking. Do beaver nuggets give off a distinct old man smell? No, they don't. They smell like beaver nuggets. All right.
But Leah's right about portion control. You don't need to eat all of that. I can't do an Australian. You don't need all of that. You need 4 or 5. I can't do it. I get into taking.
You go real British.
But I can't do Australian. HelloFresh can help with portion control. HelloFresh delivers pre-portioned ingredients to your door, including farm fresh produce, so you can get convenience without skimping on quality. Skip the trip to the grocery store, save that time in long lines, and ensure you don't waste money on excess food. And it makes cooking pretty fun and simple. I even made some tasty pork lettuce wraps. Mm-hmm.
I made those.
Yeah,
Yummy.
Lettuce wraps. Those lettuce leaves were crispy. Speaking of fresh produce, that was nice.
I know what you're thinking. The answer is no.
Just lettuce.
They smell totally normal.
Yeah, they're made of lettuce. Who knew? And Danielle was proud of me when I made those lettuce pork wraps. So that felt great.
Wow.
I was done. That was my one meal done cooking.
for
Finish on
months.
top.
Yeah.
You get choices with HelloFresh. HelloFresh offers 50 menu and market items to choose from every week, including veggie, calorie smart, family friendly, and gourmet options. Don't forget dessert either. I'm talking portion control, but that's how you save room for dessert. Satisfy your sweet tooth with seasonal limited time goodies like Dunkaroos cookie dough. That sounds good. Or Vanilla Delight cheesecake. Go to HelloFresh.com/NoDunks16 and use code NoDunks16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/NoDunks16 and use code NoDunks16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. They said repeat that, so I tried to do it in the exact same tone. Anyways, HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
Yeah, so the other day my wife asked me if I could proofread something for her. She had applied for a training course at work and it was a really high-level course, so the field of applicants was strong and she really wanted to make a strong impression. So when she asked me, I just started reading through it on her computer and I made a few suggestions. But then it hit me. I was going into this editorially naked. I needed my secret weapon, the weapon that has really helped me improve my grammar skills over the last 12 to 18 months, and that is Grammarly. So rather than just make edits on the fly, I sneakily asked her to send me the application to my own email address. Then I could open it on my laptop, have Grammarly go to work, and guess what? Bang! It worked. She got accepted. I look like a genius while also snagging some big time husband points. Grammarly keeps your writing clear, concise, and correct. It can help you write coherent, sharp sentences while delivering your message in style and, dare I say it, with swag. And if you want to get even deeper into it, Grammarly Premium offers whole sentence rewrites, identifying hard to read sentences and transforming them into concise, clear prose. So if you want to become a Grammarly gangster like me, then take the stress out of getting the words right with Grammarly. Our listeners get 20% off Grammarly Premium at grammarly.com/nodunks. That's 20% off grammarly.com/nodunks.
All right, back with No Dunks here in the Classic Factory. Let's have a little fun. NBA trade season is basically upon us. So I thought it would be cool if we went through every Eastern Conference team on today's show and look at the top trade candidates from those particular teams. We'll try and move with some pace here because there's a lot of teams obviously to touch on. But you guys can tell me if you agree, disagree, maybe you've got a deal in mind, what they could possibly use as well. Start with the Atlanta Hawks. We'll hit these alphabetically. I think it's pretty obvious that their top trade guy, and again, these are players that the team that I'm talking about is likely looking to move off of, right? I think it's Gallinari. I think it's the Rooster. mainly because you've heard a lot of rumors. Rival executives are apparently saying they've made him available for a first-round pick, which I do not think they're going to get, or possibly as part of a bigger deal. He's 33 years old. He still shoots 40% from three, but he's really fallen off a little bit here. His points and his minutes per game are his lowest total since he was a rookie back in 08-09. He makes $20.5 million this season, and he's owed $21.5 million next season, but that is not even close to fully guaranteed. So it's sort of, you can look at it almost like an expiring deal, but I think Gallinari, I don't see him being on the Hawks past the deadline. I think some team can always add a guy like that that's
totally
has some reps, obviously, in playoff series that can catch fire. He's streaky. And, you're not going to have to give up a whole lot, I don't think, to get him. Though the contracts are going to be interesting because you have to obviously get into matching some deals there.
That'll be the problem, is the contracts. Yeah. $20 million this year, like you're saying. That's probably 2 players, depending on the trade partner. So, yeah, you got to talk yourself into Danilo Gallinari is going to really help our team come playoff time because, he's a sizable wing/small ball 4 kind of guy, and he could get his own shot, at least. Maybe not the greatest shot. Maybe you don't want Danilo Gallinari posting up doing these weird ISO moves the way the Hawks had it last year and have had sometimes this season as well, but I think he will be more helpful on a playoff contending team. But that's a nice chunk of change for an average player who's going to just be a little bit of a specialist for you. But surely there will be a team that takes a chance on him.
And you talked about it's more likely that the Hawks want to package together a couple players, probably Gallinari being one of them, to get back like more of a difference maker that you can pair with Trey and if John's still there.
They have a lot of good players on this team. They need a great player. They need to package a couple guys to improve their talent level, to raise their ceiling a little bit. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Travis Schlenk made a great contract, great move with this Gallinari move back in 19, I guess it was, or I guess it was 2020, when I thought, you're signing this guy to a 3-year deal and you've got John Collins playing ahead of him and all this guaranteed money, but that 3rd year really works out where it's only partially guaranteed there. It's essentially an expiring contract for most teams because NBA teams can afford to drop $5 million on a guy that they don't play. He can just get a nice $5 million check and go away next year. But I don't think it's surprising that Gallinari has picked up his play lately. He is a playoff performer, as Trey said. He can come out and ball. And so I think the second half of the season is when Gallinari is really solid. And in the playoffs, as they used him last year, he was just a bucket. If Rudy Gay is a bucket, Gallo is a bucket. And the last 2 playoffs.
How many career points?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look. This is gonna be sad.
Do you think he has more
actually.
points than Kevin Love? That's not possible.
No, but I think we're gonna be like, whoa, that's more than I expected.
Yeah.
Really? So 14,000? You think?
10,900.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. That's a fair
perfect.
Gallo.
That's a perfect.
But the last 2 playoffs, he was good in the Hawks playoffs and in OKC. If you remember him with Chris Paul, he was an outlet and he was scoring, and he was honestly their best option at times, scoring the ball. So teams will want him, but the Hawks want to get better. So I look at the guys sort of on that are possibility, that are on the block, like Jerami Grant or something. Mm-hmm. Does that make the Hawks better? Probably not. Mm-hmm. Jerami Grant needs to go somewhere where he is, definitely the number 3. The Hawks need to raise their ceiling of their number 2 guy. And the problem with Gallo's contract is you want to get a number 2 guy in this league. Why are they trading, Gallo? Well, for Gallo, I should say. Why is a team trading for Gallo unless the picks are juicy? And that's why they went and got that Cam Reddish pick. Right. So we'll see.
Yeah. Our next team, let's throw on our green hats here. This one's for Chiefs. The Boston Celtics. I think it's Marcus Smart. If we are not on board with splitting one of the 2 J's up, be it Tatum or obviously Jaylen Brown is more likely if you're going to move one of them. I think Marcus Smart, who is eligible to be traded today.
Oh.
Yeah, January 25th. Now, he's got a wild contract. He signed a 4-year, $77 million contract extension in the summer. So it goes for a while. Right. But you know what you're getting at least with Marcus Smart. I think, the positives are great. The defense there, obviously a leader on that end of the floor. Streaky as hell when it comes to shooting the ball, especially from distance. But did you guys hear, there was, this report going around, or, I guess you can call it a report. He was, telling everybody on the Celtics that he loved them. just
Oh,
recently,
yeah.
and people are reading into it saying he's sort of
It's
saying
over.
goodbye. He's been told that maybe they are moving him.
You saw it on the calendar. This
Yeah.
January
Yeah,
25th
I mean-
is coming.
But I think, of course, teams that are thinking they're title contenders, that are like close to that level, you add a player like Marcus Smart, if you can, to your roster, and it's going to like up you a little bit. So I think that the Celtics, we don't know what Brad Stevens is going to do. This is his first trade deadline as someone in the front office. We know he loves Marcus Smart, but so it's a wild contract extension there. It goes on for a while. It's not crazy money, but I think he's at the top of their list.
Yeah, I would have to agree because that's a pretty big contract. And you say you know what you're getting from Marcus Smart, and that's true. Like over the course of a season, like he's going to shoot 40% from the field. He's going to shoot 31% from three, but that's like he'll shoot 6 for 10 one game and then 0 for 10 the next game. So you know what you're getting, but not from day to day. I don't know. I think the Celtics should trade Marcus Smart, which is weird because you say a contender would love to add Marcus Smart because he makes them go to the next level. The Celtics thought they were contenders who were trying to go to the next level, and to me, Marcus Smart is one of the reasons they're held back. They need a reliable point guard to kind of like organize things, and Marcus Smart, it's just too much highs and lows for him. He doesn't just have that steady game where he can organize the offense and he can be a little bit of an outlet. He does play defense. He does make some plays, and surely getting away from Boston, he'll have to figure out a different way to play, which is probably helpful, but I think the Celtics get better if they trade him.
Yeah, the Marcus Smart experience is pretty unique in the NBA. I mean, there's a lot of highs, a lot of lows. He'll get an incredible steal on one end and then, make a bad mistake on the other end. But sometimes they're good mistakes. And I hate to do it. I know we've got a Lakers swear jar going, but it's like every guy that's capable of playing basketball would be a good fit around the Lakers because they just need to improve their 3, 4 through 8. Like Trevor Ariza is playing minutes out there right now, and he's struggling, and Frank Vogel's trying to push him through these struggles. But Marcus Smart, as a guy who, I don't know, like a Jay Crowder who went to an NBA Finals with the Miami Heat, play D, and maybe we can up that percentage from 31 to 38 because LeBron's feeding you the ball.
Right, better looks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, that's who's coming back. But on the Celtics, it's preserving the Jays, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and everybody else is expendable right now.
I think so, yeah. I mean, Schroeder is a popular name, too, just because of his contract. It would be really a rental, probably, for a team, unless they have, designs to sign him after this season. But I'd put Smart at the top of my list. Okay, Brooklyn Nets. This one we don't need to take long. It's Paul Millsap because he has told them, and the Nets have agreed. All right, we'll try and trade you. The only question is someone going to offer a second-round pick for Paul Millsap? That's all it is.
I will go in on no.
Yeah.
I think he will be
right.
He'll be a buyout guy.
Yep. Yep. But if somebody wants him, I think a second round pick basically does it.
Yeah, sure.
And that's an easy one. All right, the Charlotte Hornets. I put two guys down because I actually still think they're going to be paired together in some inevitable Hornets deal here. Mason Plumlee, because of contract reasons, really, and then James Bouknight as like the young sort of prospect to maybe entice a team. It's tough to figure out what's the window for this roster right now. Do they stay patient with the team they have, or do they really try and like sort of look to make a move here to really put them squarely in like the top 6 in the East, which they could do because they're there. They need a center. The Plum Dog Millionaire, he starts. You know what you're getting from him, but you're not going to be like a legit like, we could win a first round series probably with the Plum Dog Millionaire as your center. So Myles Turner, they've been linked to. Christian Wood is another option. Maybe Mo Bamba, even from the Magic. And I just think it'll be Plumlee, and I think Bouknight is going to be one of the enticing pieces to one of those teams to potentially make a deal, being a young shooting guard.
And the prospect you mentioned of Myles Turner coming back seems promising to the Hornets and their fan base because that's desperately what they need alongside all these guys who handle the ball in Rozier, in LaMelo, in Hayward. And I wonder if they're able to make that happen, because it seems like they've got enough. It seems like with the picks combined with the young, talented guys, that they're sort of the front runners of a bunch of teams. Like we just mentioned, the Brooklyn Nets, they would love to have Myles Turner on their roster, obviously, but they don't have enough to go back to the Hornets. But the Hornets, or to the Pacers, I should say, but the Hornets have enough. And then if Myles Turner does come in, and I mentioned all those ball handlers because will Myles Turner be happy playing with all those guys? Because he said he wants more of a role, and I just wonder if he's ever going to touch the thing with the Charlotte Hornets. But I think they have enough to deal for Myles Turner, and I don't know, maybe Myles Turner just said that in a situation where he just wanted to say something and just wanted to talk about his large role, wanted to pump his role up a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, maybe it was just a circumstance there. But he would fit so well, and I think Bouknight could be the center of a package going back to the Pacers along with a pick.
Yeah, definitely picks are going to be included in any sort of deal for a big name like that. Trey, you look at the Hornets roster, like what do you think they should sort of do here, if anything?
They need a big guy. I actually like the Christian Wood deal a little bit more than a Myles Turner deal. I just mathed it out real quick here. Christian Wood's on a $13 million deal. 9 for Plumlee, 4 for Bouknight. Call it in.
Call it in. Yeah, they need a center.
They need a center.
And I really, if I'm a betting man, I proved that I was last night when I lost. Damn it, Bridges. I think they are going to be active here. I think they're going to do something. And if it's not Turner, which is sort of more like a little bit of a swing for the fence because he is a really good player and he would be awesome there, then yeah, I think maybe it's just like a step down center, right, to help them out. And Christian Wood's fine, maybe. And yeah. You think it might even work out better?
I don't think it's a huge step down to Christian Wood is what I'm saying.
No. Yeah. I wonder if the Rockets give up on him. They gave him that long-term contract. Yeah. Solid player, but yeah, they had that little locker room incident earlier this year. Solid guy, though.
Let's go to the Chicago Bulls. Trey Kirby's Chicago Bulls. I have, I think it's only 2 guys that they're most likely to try and move here. Derrick Jones Jr., with his expiring basically $10 million contract. That will come in handy if they take a swing at some sort of front court player. Or, and you've said it before, Trey, Patrick Williams, it sucks that he's not playing for the rest of the season. Likely that, is he the enticing young prospect that they include in some deal to try to get it? It has to be one. It has to probably be Derrick Jones Jr. or Patrick Williams, right?
Yeah, and Derrick Jones Jr. would certainly be more likely because you would like to keep the younger guy if you can. One of my favorite fake trades I've seen is that the Bulls and the Blazers would go back in time and swap Larry Nance Jr. for Derrick Jones Jr., which was the trade they did this summer, and everyone's like, why didn't they just take Larry Nance Jr.? Derrick Jones has actually been really good. Him being out has kind of hurt the Bulls just because he's a really athletic and active player defensively. They need to force turnovers, but clearly the Bulls need to upgrade somewhere in the big guy zone because if you saw last night when the Thunder went to small ball, they were just getting Vooch in the pick and roll, and he's boiled Vooch in there when it's small ball. It's easy to score, so they need something to kind of beef up their defense in the front court. So, yeah, I think Derrick Jones Jr. could certainly be traded.
Yeah, he's got the bone bruise in his right knee. Yeah. I think he's out still like a month, if I have that right, if the timeline's correct. Bulls have been one of several teams linked to Jerami Grant, so you've seen probably a lot of, like, Derrick Jones Jr., Patrick Williams as the real enticing piece to the Pistons, and then not the Bulls pick, but they do have the Blazers pick. Mm-hmm. Is that enough for Jerami Grant? James Edwards III with The Athletic is basically saying Pistons are probably not moving off of Grant, but we can get to them in a second. What do you think?
Interesting.
Yeah,
I think Grant gets moved.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I think it's time. I think the Bulls would think about trading Kobe White as well, just with all of their guards.
Yep. He might be playing too well now. I mean...
But Ayo Dosunmu helps out.
Yeah,
he's cheaper.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just obviously with DeMar and Lonzo and Levine and Caruso.
A lot of
When's Kobe going to play?
Yeah.
When they're healthy. I mean, he's playing so well. He's stepped in and played well, and maybe he's helped his trade value. And, he's going to come up on a contract extension pretty soon. And so I don't know if they pay him when they just paid Lonzo. They just paid Caruso, and they need to put some money into a big man spot. And I wonder if they can get in the Myles Turner sweepstakes. I got Myles Turner on the brain. I don't know if Turner and Vooch really are a symbiotic relationship out there. If it's
Turner and Sabonis, what's the difference?
Yeah, it hasn't worked out amazingly well.
Turner and Vooch is so like Turner and Hooch, though. It's great.
Call it in.
Be a great Photoshop for sure. All right, let's go to the Cavs here. I have as their top trade candidate, pretty tricky Ricky Rubio, which is unfortunate because he's injured. He's out for the rest of the season. He's an unrestricted free agent, though. He's probably, if the Cavs make a big deal, he's going to be the foundational piece to that. His salary is large enough. It's, basically $18 million. Cleveland has Darius Garland. He's the point guard of their future. Rubio, again, was awesome when he was playing, but I think if they're looking to upgrade this roster, it's more likely that it's Rubio over a Kevin Love, mainly because of Kevin Love's contract, that they would try and ship out. Do you agree or disagree, Tess?
I think that Rubio's definitely on the block. More than Love, for sure. I think Colin Sexton is equally as tradable as Ricky Rubio. A lot cheaper, and I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, like you said, Garland is their future, and Sexton is up for a contract extension this offseason. But yeah, I could see Ricky moving. Poor Ricky, just bouncing around the league. He's gone to 4 teams in 4 years now, and that would be a 5th team that he'd be dealt to.
Wow.
Bouncing around all over the place. Just got a soft spot for Rick. But I don't think they invest in Colin Sexton either, so I think he's got to be on the block.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I think that they are both certainly trade candidates because you put them together, that's like $24 million of contract to move there. And honestly, it's kind of been a blessing in disguise with Colin Sexton and Ricky Rubio going down because Darius Garland is just doing more. And he was obviously ready for it. So I don't think you're going back in time to give more responsibility to Sexton. If you're the Cavs, now's the time to cash in. And Rubio, I mean, I think is an easy one. If he's not going to be playing for the rest of the season, he's got a sizable deal that's not going to be there next year. You need to get an asset for him while you can.
To the Detroit Pistons, I think there's a lot of names that they would move off of. Josh Jackson is probably a bit of a no-brainer. Cory Joseph, I could see a lot of teams that are, again, title contenders. They always seem to want, just give me a backup point guard that's not going to ruin things when he's out there as a second or third guard. So Cory Joseph, he's got a player option next season for around $5 million, so it's not like he has a huge deal. I think the Pistons would, gladly take a pick or whatever it was, a young guy for Cory Joseph. Kelly Olynyk, maybe. We talked before about him. Another player that I think teams sort of, I guess, Gallinari-like in a way. Not that their games are similar, but maybe sort of at least a little injection into your second unit that both of those guys could bring. Though I think I'd have Cory Joseph and Josh Jackson above those guys. And then there's Jerami Grant, which we've talked about sort of ad nauseum at this point. But you're convinced they move him. I'm not. I'm sorry. I got to take James Edwards III's reports over you, Tass, and he says that they may not move him.
Maybe we're reading different Edwards reports.
Are we? Maybe you're reading James Edwards IV, and I'm reading James Edwards IV.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of expendable guys that they could deal, and guys that other teams would want. Lakers swear jar time. I thought Kelly Olynyk would fit in perfectly there, but I don't think they even have enough for Kelly Olynyk.
What?
Yeah. Well, okay. If the Pistons are going to take another pick back. Yes, the Lakers have a pick in 2027 if it's going to be a first-round protected, I'm sure, for Kelly Olynyk, or a second-round pick. But I don't know. I thought the Pistons are getting out of the pick game and trying to improve, but at the same time, if you're trading Jerami Grant, you're probably trading for picks.
I can't see a team giving up a pick for Olynyk or Jackson or Cory Joseph.
Definitely not Jackson.
Even a second round pick?
Even a second round pick.
I think maybe a second round pick for one of those guys. Possible.
Protected top 55.
What did Rondo just get traded for?
Something second round pick.
He was a second round pick, right?
Yeah.
So maybe.
Kelly Olynyk, he can help out a team.
You want to pay him for 2 years after this?
Yeah, that's the problem.
You can get a Kelly Olynyk anytime you want. Get a Paul Millsap if you want a Kelly Olynyk. Why not? Same guy.
Pistons will probably be active here with Weaver in control. And like you said, these guys that a team could talk themselves into getting for very, very little, and I think it wouldn't take much.
Cory Joseph on the Celtics would be nice, even for them to just move that thing around a little bit. I know he's undersized and probably doesn't have the reputation, but he would help. He's solid.
Who's Cory Joseph played for? Spurs, the Raptors, the Kings,
Pacers.
Pistons. Was he Pacers?
Oh,
He was a Pacer at one
Holy
point.
moly, was he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's bounced.
Forgot about that. Well, speaking of the Indiana Pacers, I'm putting Myles Turner at the top of the list. It sucks that he's injured, and how that comes into play with the foot injury, I guess it is, a stress fracture. I mean, usually it's 20 games a player sort of misses. So if that goes according to plan, he's back for the playoff push, and then he would be playing in a playoff series. So hopefully it doesn't really diminish any sort of trade value too much. Now we know that Indy wants 2 first-round picks for him, or that promising young player and a first-round pick. Those are the reports. Again, that's why the Hornets, you can get a promising young player. You can get a pick, and then obviously salary to make it match. But I have Myles Turner not playing for the Indiana Pacers after the deadline.
It's very interesting with the Pacers, how they put all three guys that they wanted to trade out there via that athletic report in Sabonis, Karis LeVert, and Myles Turner. And they're sort of basing what they want on what the Chicago Bulls were able to, the Magic, what they were able to extract from the Bulls last year for Vooch and 2 juicy first-round picks and decent player in Wendell Carter Jr. That was a heist. That was a really good trade for the Magic. I don't see the Pacers getting that much, even for Sabonis at this point. It just seems like there are a lot of sellers out there currently. So I do agree, though. I don't think Turner has lowered his trade value or has gone off the market because of his injury, and I think he's more likely to be dealt because they're asking less for him than Sabonis.
I was going to ask you, if you're ranking them in terms of like who's most likely to be dealt here in the next couple of weeks between Turner, Sabonis, and LeVert, like how you going 1, 2, 3?
I would go Turner, Sabonis, LeVert,
Okay.
I think would be my order, because Turner's going to be a plug-and-play guy, and he's the cheapest to acquire. Well, I mean, LeVert is probably easy to acquire as well, but Turner and Sabonis are the two headliners, no doubt. You put him out there, he's going to play defense, he's going to shoot open threes, he'll grab a few rebounds here and there, so that's an easy slot in for a lot of teams, like the Hornets. We just need a starting center who can do something. Throw him in there, that's easy. If you're acquiring Sabonis, you got to turn over a lot of your offense to him, and he definitely changes kind of the structure of your team. Like, he's obviously been playing next to Turner for almost all of his Indiana career, but you don't want him as a 5 because he's not going to be a great defensive 5, I don't think. So you might have to have a 5 out there. Does the fit work? Blah, 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 all this stuff. There are more questions to answer.
Yeah.
Even if Sabonis is a better player. So yeah, Turner seems to be a lot easier to fit in places.
This next team I found very difficult to try and figure out. The Miami Heat. I think it's going to be KZ Okpala for basically books reasons, right? If they were to trade him, it opens up more room below the tax. It's simple as that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now, maybe Duncan Robinson. Maybe. Obviously, we know what he does well. The Heat at the top of the Eastern Conference, they played well. Duncan Robinson has not been a huge part of that, especially with Tyler Hero having a crazy bounce-back season and possibly winning 6th Man of the Year. Who knows if he's even running for Most Improved even. So I go with KZ for just like super simple, helping the books out, and then Duncan Robinson maybe with a bigger contract. And I struggled with the Heat, if I'm being completely honest.
Hey, I appreciate how you're not just looking for clicks here, clickbait, and not throwing out names for the Heat, because I don't even think they trade Duncan Robinson.
Right.
Not just because he's been playing better lately. The Heat just making everything happen so perfectly. They played him off the bench, and all of a sudden he's back hitting his 6 threes.
Right.
He's playing well. I don't think they traded any of their core. So, yeah, you would have to look deep down in the queue for somebody that they would trade. And all their guys, we've talked about Max Strus and Gabe Vincent and Omer Yurtseven and all these guys who are just balling for this team. Who would they trade? You're right.
Yeah.
I don't think they traded anybody, really. And they're waiting for Victor Oladipo to come back, too.
Crazy. Anything to add to the Heat there? No.
Nah.
I got no KZ politics, man. I'm sorry. I got nothing.
Do you think if KZ got traded to Toronto, it'd be KZ? Milwaukee Bucks.
I'll laugh at a
Bucks.
letter joke.
Bucks are also difficult. I think it's tough. Donte DiVincenzo maybe as the most likely to be moved. Here's why. He has not played great since he came back. He's only played in 10 games, but his trade value maybe went down in playing in these 10 games. Offense has been brutal. He cannot score. His rookie deal is up after the season. And the other reason is they did sign Grayson Allen to, what was that, a 2-year, $20 million. So $10 million per year, sort of as that at that guard position there. So I think he's maybe expendable. And I think, like, he's been bad, don't get me wrong. I like when I watch him play, I'm like, oh, he does a lot of little things that you can see, obviously, teams and other coaches being like, yeah, we can plug and play him. So I'll put him on the top of my list. Anyone I'm missing?
If you can acquire the Michael Jordan of Delaware, you should do it. You should do it. But I agree that dastardly Grayson Allen has maybe made Donte DiVincenzo a little bit expendable. I even saw Stream Teamer Ziggy saying perhaps the Bucks don't win the title if Donte DiVincenzo is healthy last year. That's how bad he's been this year. So I don't know if they're not convinced on DiVincenzo's long-term impact. Get an asset.
You get something.
Do something.
Yeah.
Do something to keep building your team around your actual stars.
Yeah, the one hole the Bucks have is probably at backup center, especially because Brook Lopez's status is
Great
sort
question.
of up in
Right,
the air.
right.
DeMarcus Cousins picked up, then released. What are they going to do at the backup center spot? Can they convince the New York Knicks to take on another wing and Donte DiVincenzo, package him with something to make the salaries work for Nerlens Noel, who, as Trey said, sometimes you can find a Nerlens Noel type guy out there. Nerlens Noel is signed for another 2.5 years. Maybe it doesn't really work with the timeline for the Bucks, but I think the Knicks would probably like a mulligan on that contract of Nerlens Noel. They probably paid him a little bit too soon considering where they are and the fact that you can get probably a defensive center out there. But the Bucks want one because they want to win a ship.
Okay, well, let's go to the Knicks then. Who is it at the top of their trade candidates that they would look to move off? Kemba Walker is the obvious answer, right? I think they would do that. He's not really. Well, he was playing, and then he wasn't playing, and then he was playing, and then sort of out of the rotation there again. Injuries coming into play. But what about Mitchell Robinson?
Mitchie.
And I like him. I don't want Knicks fans to get too upset with me here. I really do like him. He struggles at times, of course, to stay on the floor. That's a big knock on him, unfortunately. But he is in the final year of his rookie contract, and the Knicks are not projected to have cap space next season. So what type of deal is this guy getting, and are the Knicks going to be the team to pay him? You said it, like they obviously like Obi Toppin. He should probably be playing more. A lot of Knicks fans have been saying already, being a young guy. But anyway, I think Mitchell Robinson is the most enticing player the Knicks could move. Maybe that's a better way to put it, in some sort of package to get back like somebody of significance.
Agreed. That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah.
And they've kind of handcuffed themselves because they've paid so many guys this offseason like they were a team ready to win the whole thing. In Fournier, the aforementioned Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks. I like saying aforementioned.
That's a nice
That was
word.
a great
It's a
word,
good
man.
word.
That's great.
I think it was one of our sponsors threw in the term polyunsaturated. Probably the most syllables ever in ad copy. I'm not going to count them, but that's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a gutsy move. It's like naming your company Just Egg. To throw polyunsaturated in an ad copy. Anyways, the Knicks, Mitchell Robinson. That's what we were talking about. Mitchell Robinson. Everybody, I think, would want Mitch. He's so cheap.
Right now he is.
Right now, yes, I agreed. But I think the Knicks would be shooting themselves in the foot by letting one of those young guys go.
I just think he's included if they're like really going sort of big game hunting here. He has to almost be to get the other team to agree to it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I want to make that clear. I don't think they should be actively like, we're trying to trade Mitchell Robinson. Not that. I'm just saying he's likely to be in a deal if someone of note is coming back, Trey.
Yeah, he seems, I don't know, like who's interesting on the Knicks from young players you would actually like to have? Barrett?
He's
Quickly.
untouchable.
Quickly.
Barrett's untouchable. Quickly is like a little less untouchable,
Yeah.
but not easy to touch, I would say. And Robinson is Nerlens Noel. They're, similar sort of players, a rim-running defensive center, which exists a lot in the NBA. So the only problem is that he's making like a little bit more than $1 million.
Yeah.
So they're not getting much back unless it's part of a package. But you can talk yourself into being excited about Mitchell Robinson if you're the right team, I think.
For sure. Orlando Magic, Terrence Ross is getting traded.
Is this finally the year?
You can lock it in. You can quote me. You can go ahead and tweet that if you want. Terrence Ross and/or Gary Harris is getting traded. And he is, the perfect like microwave scorer, Terrence Ross specifically, that I believe will win somebody. Mark this down. Take note of this time code, JD. Terrence Ross is going to win a playoff team, a game, because he's going to get hot for a quarter or a half, and that'll be enough to like pull out this road victory for Team X. That's going to try and acquire him. Value contract, $12.5 million. He is an unrestricted free agent in 2023. And I don't think he's, fits the Magic's long-term plans by any means. So I think they can get something back for him. And I think a team would be wise to go get him.
Yep.
Agree, disagree?
I agree, man. I think people should have been trading for Terrence Ross for seasons. make it actually happen. That's an affordable contract, 12.5. It actually goes down next year.
Yeah.
You don't see that often, and when you do, you're excited about it if you're a front office sicko. So yeah, Terrence Ross. He'll have some nice playoff moments. Exactly right.
will.
He'll have a 20-point quarter. Sure, why not? I would take a chance on Terrence Ross.
Fire at times. Anyone else? Mo Bamba, are the Magic, still convinced can be a part of their core. He played great, obviously, a monster game the other night. I think teams want him as well, but I got Terrence Ross most likely.
How many centers do the Orlando Magic want? That's the question. Do you want to keep Mo Bamba around to keep that collection of centers? Is it fun to have Robin Lopez sitting there on the floor, not on the bench? He's a real floor sitter. He just hanging out watching Mo Bamba play.
Could the Bucks make an enticing package for Mo Bamba?
I thought you were going to say Robin Lopez.
I thought you were going to say Robin Lopez.
Robin Lopez, I think, yeah, okay.
Because they brought Wesley Matthews back. He didn't win a championship. Robin Lopez, same deal. Did Robin wasn't there.
He wasn't there last year,
He
right?
was there the year before, just like Wesley Matthews. They got this family thing. We like the bros there. We
like
got
to wrestle.
Thanasis. We like Giannis.
They love to wrestle.
I wonder if Mo Bamba is definitely a less required from the Milwaukee Bucks than I think for Nerlens Noel, as I said earlier. I don't know. That's similar, I guess, actually. I take that back. But less would be for Robin Lopez. I'm sure the Bucks would move off. The Magic would move off Robin Lopez pretty quick.
A lot of teams here.
Yeah, Rolo on the Braino.
Final three in the East. We can move with some pace here. Philadelphia, we're not saying Ben Simmons. I'm going to say Danny Green. Okay? Because I'm tired of talking about Ben Simmons. Danny Green, look, he's old. He shoots. I think he's shooting 38% from
Green is
three.
old. Has he grabbed a rebound yet this season? I know he
sure.
played like 30 games without grabbing a rebound or something crazy.
I am fascinated by reports, and I know we're doing the West maybe tomorrow or later this week when we do this again, if you like it enough, that the Rockets don't want to trade Eric Gordon.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Yeah.
Everybody's lying, guys.
Liars.
Did you notice that every team says they don't want to trade their players? Every single one?
Yeah. So, Philly could be some interest there in acquiring an Eric Gordon. And would Danny be involved in that? Would a Furkan? Actually, Furkan can't be traded until after the deadline, I think. He's a weird one. Anyway,
Well,
that's real sicko shit right there. I think somebody don't quote
Probably
me
can't
on
be
that.
traded after the deadline.
No, exactly, but I don't think he can be traded.
Trey, you're right. The GMs out there are being conniving and they're lying. But the only team that says we will trade our guys is the Pacers. Who said so are they the liars?
Well, I thought Herb Simon said that actually, no, we're not completely rebuilding. Didn't even he say that?
Yeah, you're right. He walked it back a bit.
Yeah.
No, I believe Kevin Pritchard, as
Even
Daryl
Daryl Morey is like, hey, we could trade. We could definitely trade with the Sacramento Kings, but we're not gonna. We're not gonna.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I got Danny Green being moved if the Philadelphia 76ers do something here before the deadline. And whether it involves Ben Simmons or doesn't, I guess. The Raptors, an easy one. Goran Dragic, they're going to try and get anything back for him.
Oh, yeah.
He's completely out of the rotation. A trade seems inevitable. Maybe they obviously they don't get anything for him, and it turns into a buyout situation. But he's the most obvious to me. Anything to
Agreed.
add on the Raps?
Well, no, that's an obvious one. The question is, would they give Goran Dragic a ring if they trade him and then they win the championship, like they didn't give to Jonas Valanciunas?
Wild.
Oh, right, the Raptors aren't winning the championship. Okay, that's just a joke for one. Me.
No, for me too.
Okay,
For two.
okay, accept it. But yeah, who else would they deal? I don't see
He's
He's the one.
Yeah. And then finally, the Washington Wizards. If it's not Beal, and we've already talked about that quite a bit, I think the two names most likely to be actually moved in some sort of deal are Rui Hachimura or Deni Avdija. And I say or because I think one of those guys, if the Wiz go shopping, try and help their team, they're going to be moving a guy that's on a rookie contract, so one of those two guys, and then a vet with the salaries to make whatever they're coming back work. So that's either then Montrezl Harrell, that's Bertans if a team's very, very desperate to get off whatever deal they're trying to, or whatever player they're trying to move off of, and then a first round pick. I think it's going to be Rui and Avdija, one of the veteran salaries, and then a pick if they go and try and get someone of note. And I think the Wizards could be a buyer.
They could be
here at the deadline.
I totally agree.
So I think it's one of those guys.
Yeah, like the Knicks, like the Hawks, a lot of solid players. Package those for more of a star player. And they're not giving up on this era of Bradley Beal as their number one guy. I think they do. And there's an article on The Athletic from Josh Robbins and Bob Kravitz contemplating a couple of those guys.
A Wizards-Pacers deal.
A Wizards-Pacers deal, yes. Have we mentioned Kravitz? No, we mentioned Bob Marley earlier. I thought we mentioned Lenny Kravitz. No, Bob Kravitz, yeah, Pacers writer, and Josh Robbins, the Wizards writer, getting together, thinking if Sabonis could be had for a package led by Rui and Avdia, a couple lottery picks from the last couple of years for the Wizards, plus a pick, obviously.
That's starting to turn into not that bad a package if the Pacers are very serious about moving one of their guys.
Yeah, I think they have to lower their
not
expectations of that Vucevic package that the Magic were able to extract from the Bulls. A couple of those first-round picks, I throw those in air quotes because those guys were first-round picks just a couple of years back. But as we've said, NBA GMs like actual picks. I want to make my pick.
My selection.
Like the Magic were able to get and draft Franz Wagner at the 8th spot from the Bulls. That was nice. That was a nice move. But Avdia, wasn't he 8 last year? Just trade for Avdia. I love me some Denny.
So there it is. The Eastern Conference teams who I believe are the top trade targets. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Of course, I'm sure you are right now in the stream team. Drop your thoughts in the YouTube comments below. You can tweet at us at NoDunksync. And if you like this enough, let's just do it with the Western Conference.
I think they got no choice, Skeets.
Okay,
what are we going to do? 15 teams and be like, sorry, you figure out the West.
Yeah, okay. We're doing the West either tomorrow or maybe Thursday.
And I tweeted because you said, tweet it. Terrence Ross is getting traded. You said tweet it. I tweeted it with a link to the show. Not a lot of engagement. Maybe I'm going to take off the link to the show and just make it a wholesome, pure quote tweet rather than the link.
Wholesome tweet.
Wholesome was the exact word I was looking for.
I was right. Last year, I was beating the drum that Aaron Gordon was getting traded to the Denver Nuggets. Was that last year? I can't keep track of
He did get traded last year.
Yeah. So this is mine this year. I guess I need to really pick my team where Terrence Ross is getting traded to. Let me think on that a little bit, and then I'll tweet it. And then you can retweet it if you want. Maybe quote tweet it if you got something to add.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure right now. I'm busy. I'm asking the people out there, do you like this tweet better?
And I know what you're thinking. Does Terrence Ross smell like an old man? Does he have that distinct old man?
Yeah, that's what you're
Terrence
thinking.
Ross does not. He's not that old. He's
in his 30s.
Yeah, but he's kind of
He is
youthful
made of
look.
mung beans, though.
Oh, yeah.
Just like everything else.
Everything is made of mung beans. The metaverse is made of mung beans.
Oh, Mungaverse.
Tweet that. That might be good. Okay,
Get your NFBs, non-fungible beans, in the Mungaverse.
okay. We're gonna take one more break. When we come back, I've got tweet of the night, a fun question off of that. We got picking results, so don't go anywhere.
If you think player acquisitions are tough, let me tell you a little bit about car shopping. It's already a confusing and stressful process, but in 2022, finding the right car is going to be even trickier due to inventory shortages.
Yep.
No doubt.
Yep.
Oh, you talk about buyers and sellers?
Yes.
More buyers than sellers
Right.
Yes.
in the car market right now.
Yep.
Yeah, there is.
Yep.
Lucky for us, not lucky for NBA GMs. Edmunds goes the extra mile to make car buying easier by providing shoppers with honest car reviews, video test drives, online shopping tools, and the latest consumer advice. Is Basketball Reference kind of like the Edmunds of the NBA? You know, you can go.
You love Basketball Reference. Go ahead.
You can go and filter things.
I think that's a
your
great
research?
comparison. Yeah. You just a lot of info.
A lot of info.
Yeah.
There's a ton of info.
Filtering, finding specific things you want to know. Yeah.
You're telling me, Skeets, I'm not currently in the car market, but I've heard all about these used cars selling like hotcakes. So I went to Edmunds.com to appraise my 2005 Toyota Highlander, only to find out that Edmunds won't let you appraise a car with more than 300,000 miles on it. Which I actually think is like a nice cutoff.
Yeah, nice
you don't want to be
standard.
buying somebody else's 300,000 mile car.
Wow. That is a crazy amount of miles.
Yeah, the Toyota Thon has 320,000, but I had to see how this thing works.
Holy.
That's 500,000 kilometers. That's 500,000 kilometers for all our conversioners out there.
Shout out to
That's a
conversioners.
lot.
Yeah.
Amazing.
very reliable. So I wasn't
heard.
surprised. I fudged it. I faked it.
Yeah.
I said there was only 250,000 miles. I got my appraisal right away.
Huh.
$1,800.
Not bad.
That's why I walked to the Classic Factory today.
Sweet.
Car shopping, it can be overwhelming, but Edmunds is here to help. Visit Edmunds.com and click on Edmunds' best car rankings to research and compare vehicles. Probably wondering how to spell Edmunds right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're not. You're lying to me. I appreciate the yes and, but I know you've seen the copy. This is for the audio people out there. EDMUNDS.com. Edmunds. We drive it like it is.
It's crazy that PJ Washington is on Basketball Reference and Edmunds.
The only guy.
The only guy. Because he's the Chevy Trax of the NBA.
That's right.
Hey guys, my sock drawer is almost exclusively Stance. Did you know that?
What a
No.
brag.
It is a bit of a brag, but here's the thing. It's dwindling rapidly. It's those damn kids. They keep dipping in, stealing socks from me. It's a scourge, really. A pair here, a pair there. And once those socks leave the safety and sanctity of Dad's dresser, it's pretty much over. And, I've gone on endlessly about the socks on the floor problem we have around here. It's brutal. But I'm getting ready to re-up on my stash. And guess what? Stance isn't just for socks anymore. Stance is bringing color, comfort, and creativity from toe to head with the launch of their all-new active apparel line. That's right. What started out as a radical reinvention of your sock drawer is now expanding to your entire wardrobe. Check out Stance's super soft line of sweatpants and joggers, shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Now available in full range of fits, prints, fabrics, and fun. Oh, this is wordy, Stance, I'm not gonna lie. Embrace a life of superior comfort and creative expression with everyday active apparel that truly is stitched different. Pick a tagline, guys. Pick a tagline. So yeah, I'm stocking up on everything, all sorts of stuff. Just because it's not socks, and my kids are pilfering everything. And speaking of old guys and music, I'm gonna get me a Bob Marley tee, guys.
Yeah, brother.
Toe jamming. Toe jamming.
And, what about Wu-Tang Clan? I think I could pull that off. Would you play Wu-Tang in warm-ups? I mean, yeah, I would.
Hell yeah.
It's a better fit than
Pretty sure
Mary
we
J,
did.
I think.
Yeah. Well, you guys are old, so that's why. They also have a pretty cool Slayer shirt. I mean, I couldn't name a single Slayer song, so should I get a Slayer shirt? I don't think so.
Nah.
I couldn't pull it off. I could pull off Bob Marley and The Clash, of course. Anyways, where was I? Stance's philosophy is that you should never have to sacrifice your own individual style for the sake of comfort, and now you don't have to. Whether you're relaxing around the house, working out at the gym, or running all over town, Stance now delivers its signature softness and creativity in a full line of active apparel styles from toe to head. They really want you to say toe to head because it socks up. Stance has you covered. Head on over to stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Use promo code NODUNKS at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance stitched different.
Yeah. Well, this is perfect. From an ad read about Stance socks to our tweet of the night.
Tweet of the night. Wow.
Twitter.
Yes, here's why. Because the tweet of the night has to do with socks. It's crazy. At Freeman Eric. Great tweet last night. Made me chuckle. Freeman Eric. I know. Guys, I know. I like to say Freeman Eric. Eric Freeman.
Free Main Rick.
He tweeted, the dumbest thing I believe, is that you wear the left-right Nike athletic socks on the wrong foot, you will pull a muscle. So this is very common now. You get the socks with the little L and the R's on it, and the free man, he believes if you switch them up, that's bad luck. You're going to pull a muscle.
I get it.
Do you make sure that your socks that are labeled left and right. Or do you make sure they're always on the right
Yes,
foot?
I do. I do want to be a free man like Eric, though. I want to have socks that don't have an L and R, which often Stance don't. They don't. I don't think.
Stance has like the little symbol on their socks. That's supposed to go on the outer side of your foot.
I don't know that's true. I
think
think
it
they
is.
change it up. They change it up.
What do you mean they change it up?
Because I've had the L on one side and then the logo on the other side, and then vice versa. I know. I've got like 85 pairs of Stance socks, and they sometimes change it up.
Oh.
I'm telling you.
I thought it was just an outside thing as well. I thought that was a universal symbol.
I thought it was a universal inside, so I don't know what
Universal
else.
inside?
See? Yeah.
Always, yeah. I'm always putting that little circle right on my inner ankle bone.
Wow.
Yeah, I
See,
think
I
it
would
looks
have
perfect.
thought they would have wanted it on the outside.
Yeah,
for
to see
branding
it.
reasons.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, you're
around.
right. I'll tell you what is the most frustrating to me, though, is when you look at your socks thinking you're going to see a left and right, but it's like size large. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
which foot does this go on? I can't decide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I hate when I do put the L on my right foot, and I go, oh, God.
Yeah, it feels weird.
Now I gotta take it off. And like some of these athletic socks, they are not that easy to get on. Like they do not slide on your foot.
No, they
Like
don't.
they got
They're
some
molded.
compression
They're
to them.
molded,
Yeah, so
baby.
you gotta like, here we go.
Yeah. Oh, that happens
hate
to
it.
me. Actually, I have a pair of Giannis Antetokounmpo socks that have a 3 on the left heel and a 4 on the right heel for 34. If you put a 4 on your left heel, you got to sit down for another hour to take it off and put it on the other heel. Yeah, I dread those. Although it
Siakam
feels good.
fan.
I like them
Yeah.
when they get on. Siakam fan, right?
Fanasi. He's
Oh,
number
yeah.
43, right?
Yeah, I'll just be
Works for
Thanasi
anyone.
today.
Yeah, good point. Anyways, a question off of this for all three of you, everybody in the stream team. Do you have any sort of like dumb superstitions that you believe in, either sports related or not?
I wear this hat after every time the Bulls win, and I'm not going to get a new hat until they win their 7th championship.
Wow.
Could be 20 years.
No,
Who knows?
will you wash a hat?
Wash a hat?
I don't know.
What am I? You're crazy, man. You think I put my socks on the wrong feet and wash my hats? Are you kidding? Wash a hat?
You think I wear my hat on my ass?
Yeah.
No, man, I want this thing to be filthy.
Yeah.
Poro style is what I call it.
Like sweat things.
Oh,
around
yeah.
things?
I wear it for every time I'm doing yard work around the house. I try to get a nice sweat ring on it. I do regret
Oh, yeah.
I got a little smudge here.
Yeah.
I think it was from that Georgia clay, you know. Just gave a little
Would
tip.
you saw
to the
a neighbor?
Oh no! I smudged my hat. I gotta wash it now.
Couldn't dig a hole into that Georgia clay? Well, respect, Georgia clay. Tip of the hat to you. Yeah, that's
All right, so that's
a good one. Don't wash a hat, I agree. One of the weirdest things to purchase is one of those hat tumblers. Like you put a hat in a tumbler and then throw it in the washing machine.
don't need to.
Or with shoes. Don't wash a hat.
I wash a hat. No,
Me too.
Yeah,
I
it
wash.
It changes its shape.
I mean, I want the shape to be like flat. My problem wearing a hat is it's too high all the time on my tiny Lego head.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Leigh. Hope you're watching.
Also, low key, the scalp is one of my least favorite smells. Like a dirty scalp, I hate it.
I'm
Smells like
weird
mung
about it.
beans.
It does smell like mung beans. You're right.
I know what you're thinking. These eggs have a distinct scalp smell. No, they don't.
Stop smelling your scalp, JD. I know you have a sensitive nose, JD, but
I do.
does it get all the way to your hairline? I find my nose smelling things below me rather than above.
Yeah, but if I sniff my hat, I'm smelling my own scalp.
Yeah.
That's the
It's a
problem.
bad smell, you're
It's
right.
not good. It's
Okay, so you
Not a hat sniffer. Smelling a hat. This guy's a hat sniffer.
I
Just
sniff everything I put near my head. I sniff. Like if I'm eating something, I will sniff it 100% of the time. 100% of the time, I sniff.
Wow.
Whatever's going into my mouth.
your glasses?
Occasionally, yes. Yes.
All right. Do you have a superstition? Excuse me.
not as good as any of
No,
these.
no.
No. I thought an alarm clock that forced me to get up. I mean, this isn't really a superstition, so why am I even saying it? But I thought purchasing an alarm clock that had a remote detonator. Like it literally sounded like a bomb was going off beside me, and I had to go to a keypad which was several feet away to turn it off.
would get me up, but
Turns out.
turns out it's you can figure out a way around it. I just like unplug it and throw it out the window. So yeah, unfortunately that didn't work out. I mean, I figured out another way. Really. My wife didn't like the sound of a bomb going off. She didn't like the tone.
Why?
I know.
What?
Yeah. I love being startled to wake up. I love
I
it.
love starting my days thinking I'm in the middle of a world war. I got the blood flowing. JD, anything from you?
It's still related to smells and things. I need to rinse off. If I'm doing the dishes, every single dish has to be completely rinsed of soap, and my body as well. Like, if I feel an itch during the day, like any itch, I'll be like, that's soap. That's soap that I've left on my body somehow. I'm really weird about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's a problem.
So you do a crazy towel down.
Towel down, like just I'll stay in the sorry Tessa and everybody, all the environmentalists out there, I stay in a little longer than a normal person would, just making sure that everything is completely soap free, and dishes as well. I can't handle it if this tastes like soap, like even if it doesn't, like if it's like just something tastes weird, then it's my fault for not rinsing off the soap. Yeah, weird.
And you're a dishwasher person. So you're rinsing, soaping, then throwing it in the dishwasher.
No. Dishwasher, I'm fine. I trust the dishwasher for some weird reason. If I'm hand washing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you are a bit of a. Is it safe to call you a bit of a hypocrite, because you do get on anyone like with their car idling and stuff like that, but then here you are, just standing in the shower for 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but it's way less. It's less.
All right.
It's less.
And you're letting a man use your recycling bin.
That's right.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah,
Nice.
hey, man, anytime.
All right. Thank you, free man Eric, for that excellent tweet. Keep them coming. Thanks, Eric. Pick 'em results from last night. Knicks, Cavs. Cleveland favored by 7.5 at home. Everybody was feeling good about the Cavs. Trey was. He said, yeah, they'll cover. Taz said, yeah, they'll cover. Lee said, yeah, they'll cover. I said, I don't know, man. The Knicks are pretty good in back-to-back, and they might keep it close enough. And they did. They somehow did. I got the victory, only losing by a couple of points there. I did start to panic when I was like, oh, no, the Knicks are going to tie the game up. They're going to go to overtime. That's the worst thing. When you have the dog,
yes.
and you're like, just lose. I don't care if the Knicks actually win or lose this game, but I care if you just keep it close enough. And I was like, just lose. And they did. I thought they were going to force overtime. Then they'd probably go on to lose by 8 or something, but they didn't. So that's good. So I'm 9-6. Leigh is 5-10. Bad month for Leigh. And you guys, 6-9.
Nice.
So tonight's game, very important. It is a 3-way race at the bottom here still between Tass, Trey, and Leigh. I'm looking pretty good now as we start to run out of games in January. But what's tonight's battle?
Well, 9 games on the board
Wow, Tuesday
tonight.
night.
Yeah, an exciting 9-game night after that 4-game night on Monday. And one of the games on TNT tonight, Lakers Nets. Kind of a difficult thing to prognosticate because the Brooklyn Nets, without Kevin Durant, who's injured, without Kyrie Irving, who doesn't play at home, hosting the Lakers, who, you never know what you're going to get. Lakers on a very long road trip are 3.5-point favorites in Brooklyn, and so there will be some rejigging at the bottom of this race.
Could be big.
Myself and Trey taking the Nets, while Skeets and Leigh, who's at the bottom of this race, taking the Lakers. I believe Leigh inserted his Lakers pick along with a puking emoji.
Yeah, he was not happy about taking the Lakers.
It's tough. It's a tough pick.
But he saw you guys go in Brooklyn. He's like, I might swerve here. I mean, as you saw, I agree with him. I think the Lakers could very
Anthony
easily
Davis
cover
is probable for tonight.
That's right.
But yeah, we're Splitsville. Also Splitsville put up a poll for the stream team. You wash your hats? 40% wash their hats.
Huh. So it's pretty
60%.
close.
No, yeah.
Pretty close.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of pushback here, but at this point, people should know I'm a scumbag. I mean, come on. I barely wash my clothes, my body, and my hair. Of course, I'm not washing my hats.
Not a hat like that, too. Like a working man's hat.
A working man's hat. Yeah, this hat really puts in the hours down at the classic factory. It's true.
Yeah.
Carhartts are built to blow, is what me and Larry Luck said. When your hat's meant to be destroyed, that's how you know.
Built to blow.
Built to
That's
blow.
not a bad tagline. That's not their tagline. That's your tagline.
No, it's our tagline for them, based on our buddy Woody. You know, you guys know Woody.
Yep.
He said he blows through a hat every time. That's what he said. He said he blows through a hat every time he golfs. His hats last him one round of golf. And he sweats through it too much, and it's gone. It's like he's like, I wear my hat once. See you later.
Try washing it.
That's a hat you should wash if you're blowing a hat that bad. I said, not this one. This one's built to blow.
Costs you a fortune.
What is Woody talking about?
Woody.
Is he putting a hole in
Crazy
his
for this
hats?
one, Woody.
Okay, let's call it there. A long episode here this morning. Thanks to everybody in the stream team on YouTube right now for sticking with us. We really appreciate it. Take a second, like the video, subscribe if you haven't, share the show. Email in your NBA questions to nodunks@theathletic.com, or you can drop them in the YouTube comments below this vid. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok @NoDunksInc. And here we go, guys. Grab yourself an Athletic subscription. Go to theathletic.com/nodunks.
Nice.
Nailed it! It's because I have water in my cup. Mouth is not as parched as it was yesterday.
Yeah, you were saying you had a dry one going on.
Yeah.
An arid mouth.
Yeah, it's a little dry in the
word.
classic factory.
Can get a little dry.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's the winter down here. Things
That's
are
right.
dry.
That's right.
Things are absolutely bone dry.
All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this very long classic. We'll be back tomorrow live at 10 a.m. Eastern here on YouTube. Until then, Clipper Bros.
You heard it here first. Have a great time. Turn up. Love you guys. Awesome.
A little known fact here to end us off. Thank you for joining us, and remember, Athletic subscriptions are made of mung beans.
Embrace the day, people.